month or so now for a couple years. So it's time for the Hangout on air. In addition, it's Click Millionaires office hours. So thanks for being here. So who's going to join us today? We had a bunch of people RSVP over on Google+. And I can see folks from, let's see, well, Sergio from Argentina. Hey, Sergio. And Theophilus and Patrick from the Philippines, and Ben from Los Angeles, and Richard and Byron and Dennis. A bunch of folks, I don't know exactly where you're from, but it'll be good to have you with us as well. Just click through and hit the blue button on the Google Hangouts page for Click Millionaires public video office hours. Now, this is the public session. If you find this interesting and helpful, and I hope you do, we do an even better version of this privately for the Masterminds members. Now, clickmillionaires.com is the free public forum that I host that allows anybody to come in and join, especially if they've read my books. My books like this one, Click Millionaires, it's the latest book. Bestseller in a bunch of categories on Amazon.com. It's been translated into, let's see, what's the latest one I got? I think I got Polish the other day. Polish, Japanese, Russian. Actually, here, for those of you watching the video, let me show you. Let's see. There's the Japanese one, and there's the Russian one. You know, very different art, very interesting, different points of view on this. But people all over the world are interested in the Click Millionaires approach to life because the subtitle of the book, well, it kind of gives it away. It's Work Less, Live More, with an internet lifestyle business you love. So that's kind of a mouthful. Work less, live more. Well, that makes sense, right? Internet business, right? Internet lifestyle business. That's a business that's run for your own benefit as much as to make money, really to create the lifestyle that you want and that you love it. That's the subtitle. Work less, live more with an internet lifestyle business you love. So if you haven't read Click Millionaires yet, I do recommend it. It's my third book, actually, but this is the latest one, and I'd recommend that you read it. I think if you're tuning in here and you're interested in building your own, not just an internet business, but a way of life online, then this book can help you. And in fact, all our friends over at clickmillionaires.com can help you too. They're the folks who keep our forum busy day and night from all over the world, asking questions and most importantly, helping each other answer questions about how the internet works, how to do internet marketing, how to build email lists, search engine optimization, product development, e-commerce, email marketing, list building, and perhaps most importantly, the strategies behind finding a niche that is yours, a niche that you can own and make some money out of over time online. That's the idea behind clickmillionaires.com, and behind all my work is to help you live, well, live the life you were supposed to live, the one that you felt frustrated about. And most of us spend time working for other people and get tired of it. I certainly did that for decades. I worked for other folks and had some very well-paying, prestigious jobs, and was very frustrated by all of them. So I graduated from that to being what I call a Click Millionaire, and that's a term I made up to describe what I do, which is, well, stuff like this. I find needs online, and I help other people fill them. Now, I'm not one of those guys who just makes their money selling information to you, right? I actually donate the profits from my books to charity. The books are an add-on for me. I run other businesses, and I've been involved in the internet since, well, almost 20 years, all right? I was an early guy in Silicon Valley. I helped start a bunch of different things and have made enough money on my own. I'm not a billionaire, but I am comfortable calling myself a Click Millionaire, which means that I have some money, but also that I live the life I want. And that's what I want for you too. What can you do? What is there in your life, your background, your expertise, your interests? Who would you like to be when you really grow up? That's what we talk about at clickmillionaires.com, and it's time to help you out with that for the next hour. And if you don't catch this now, you want to catch it later, well then head over to clickmillionaires.com and post some questions there. And if you need a password to get in, we gate the community. It's a little difficult to sign up for. There's a bunch of steps, but that's to keep out the spammers and scammers. Clickmillionaires.com, I call it the friendliest internet coaching community online, the friendliest. And we keep out the scammers and spammers. And if you need a code, one of the ways we do that is with a secret code that's from my book. So if you don't have a copy of my books handy, just type video office hours. It's fine. We're not trying to keep out anybody with legitimate interest. We're trying to help you. All right, and we is me and a bunch of my folks, all right? I've got half a dozen people that work for me in different businesses, and you'll see different ones of us at any time in there or in the Masterminds forum that I mentioned earlier. The Masterminds forum is not free. It's the upgraded version, $39 a month. Go to mastermindsforum.com, and it's a smaller, more personal forum, and you can work directly with me, and I'll help you as much as I can along with our other members in the forum there to find your way, not just on the internet, but in your life towards becoming a Click Millionaire yourself. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, there's been a lot going on in the forum lately, but I'm really interested in hearing your questions. So those of you who are online now, please come over to Google. I know you can watch this live on YouTube, or you can listen to it on Blog Talk Radio, or you can drop by the forum at clickmillionaires.com. But if you want to participate today, I need you over on Google+. Okay, there's an event page there, and you can type your questions in on that. But if you want to be sure about it, you need to come in yourself and type the questions into the chat box and type in there, and I'll do what I can to help you. And I don't know everything, but I've been at this a long time. So I put it this way, at least as my wife would tell you, I have an opinion about just about everything, and hopefully it'll be a helpful one for you. All right, so come on in and say hello. And I know folks are coming in from around the world. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We've got a bunch of questions from online, from the forums. Some people wrote in early. I'd love to hear you live. I always give preference to those of you who are with me live if I can. I want to tell you what's going on at the forum, both the free one and the Masterminds forum. And I thought today we might even try some live website reviewing. Now, this is a service that I offer through the forums, as well as a separate business of mine at expertwebsitereviews.com. If your website is stumbling, if you're frustrated with it, it's not making the money you'd like, especially if you're new to website building, there's a way to get an expert opinion, and that would be, surprise, surprise, that would be me. So expertwebsitereviews.com, you can sign up for a video, and I'll take 15 or 20 minutes and go through your website and make a video for you that tells you exactly what I think you should be doing. And this isn't just my opinion. Well, it is my opinion, but it's based on a lot of experience. Like I said, I've run a bunch of websites. Even ran the art department at a Fortune 500 company when they built their first website. So I've got the design background. I've been search engine optimizing for decades, and a lot of experience with my own site. So it's a very educated opinion, even if it's not perfect. Okay, and that's the kind of third-party point of view that you often need when you're trying to evaluate a website of your own and figure out why it's not working better. So, expertwebsitereviews.com, or we're going to try a couple of those today, hopefully, here on Video Office Hours. If I can get Google Hangout to cooperate, we'll do a screen share sort of thing. And that's funny, one of the sites that I looked at earlier is not even showing up now. So one of our members apparently, let's try this one. We'll make it focus on that one. On internet. There you go. Okay, good. All right, so we'll try that a little later. So, looks like we've got a bunch of people watching around the world. I see our good friend Sheila. Hey, Sheila, good to see you. And from the Midwest, and Byron checking in. Byron's a new face, but we'd love to see you, Byron. I've got you in as a still picture right now, but you're welcome to listen and or type in questions into the chat room over here. And if you haven't seen the chat room yet, it's the can't even see the menu. Google's very subtle about these things. I actually disagree with their design about this. They hide things. So if you roll your mouse over to the left of your screen, a menu will pop up along the bar over there, I think, for you. And up at the top, there will be a blue one, a little blue icon, and roll over that. Click on it, and a chat room will pop up over there. So hit the button over there, you'll get a chat room over there. And then you can type your questions in if you haven't. So Byron and Sheila and anybody else who shows up, come on in and ask any questions. If there's something on your mind, I'll be happy to help you. And let me know what's going on over there. And if you're here live and you even want to come on camera and talk, that would be great too. Always happy to hear from you, especially Sheila. We've done this before, and be happy to talk with you again if you'd like. All right, so what do we've got going on? I wanted to point out a couple things over at clickmillionaires.com. There was a post the other day by a gentleman, one of our members named Ron Stefanski. And Ron has a website, and he put up a site that I would suggest check out. And his post that was so helpful was called Income. It was about income reports. And this is a great idea, and I'm not going to reiterate the whole thing, but the post is a good tip. It's called Income Reports Are a Hidden Gem for Traffic. And Ron pointed out, and this is, I would suggest you guys go check this one out. It's right on the front page at clickmillionaires.com right now, because he's found a great way to attract traffic, and I wanted to pass along this, as he calls it, a gem. And I've seen a lot of people do this, but maybe you haven't, and maybe you should. If you're making any money online, this is an advanced topic, I guess. You actually report what you're making and tell people how you're making it. And he's been having really good luck with this in attracting traffic. People are very curious, not surprisingly, about what other people are making. And the key part is he's also including how he's spending his time to make that money. Now, this is a practice that I've seen for years. The one, I think a bunch of people have done it on and off, but I really remember Pat Flynn doing it a lot. And Pat has been doing it for a long time. And I think Pat's are extremely popular, especially because he has really eye-popping results. His affiliate sales are quite impressive. Those reports are very popular reading and helped Pat build his blog and his podcast into the powerhouses that they are. So Ron explained exactly how he did this and gave an example of his own that's on a slightly more approachable level. If that's interesting to you, so I would go check that out over there at clickmillionaires.com. It's called Income Reports Are a Hidden Gem for Traffic. All right, so let's see if, well, Sheila, you're here. If you've got a question, let me know. I think you can hear me. So type into the chat if you'd like, if you've got something to ask, if there's something on your mind today, or Byron also, or anyone else who's showing up. Let me see, let's try that one more time over here. And we'll see if we can do a screen share here and talk for a second about this other website. I think it's a would be a useful exercise to talk our way through the website in live real time. Okay, there's that site. Good. So it's called Tai Chi. It's hard to say. TaiChiTips.net. And I wasn't getting it before because I was typing .com. So there's our first lesson for anybody interested. If you can get the .com, please do it. I tried it 4 times and I thought it was me, and it was. I thought it wasn't me. I thought there was something wrong with the system. I thought it was a .com and it was a .net. People still vastly prefer the .com. If you can get the .net, that's good. It's backup. But I would take the .com because the first thing, this is the website of a friend of ours named Art, who's a member at clickmillionaires.com. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen for you here without breaking anything. Okay, almost. Okay. Let's try that. See if you can see it. Okay, how's that? Can you see that? Let me see if I can get a sound check. Probably take a second. But we've got TaiChiTips.net. I can't say that. TaiChiTips.net. Okay, TaiChiTips.net. So obviously Art is a martial artist, and he asked for opinions about this. So I'd love to hear your opinion if you're watching as well. Anybody in the chat room, come please chime in the chat room with suggestions for Art and tell me what you think. So here's some thoughts I have, and we'll do a couple of these, and then hopefully we'll discuss some more of the issues going on in the forum or questions that you have. And if we don't have any live questions in the forum, we'll wrap this session up a little earlier than usual. All right, so this is, like I said, TaiChiTips.net, and it's Art's website. Some beautiful photography here. The first problem is .net. Now, we discussed that, so I won't beat it up, but if you can't get the .com, I would seriously consider finding another domain name. TaiChiTips.net is not such a wonderful domain name that I think you couldn't have found something different, Art. I think .com would help you a lot, because the problem is, with the .com, the guy that owns the .com could put up a site tomorrow and wipe you out. You've really put yourself in an awkward position here, no pun intended, given the pictures on the photo there. Okay, next would be, I think you need a better camera. That's kind of picky, but the consistency in lighting is very different from some of these that are more stock photo looking up here versus these that you're doing yourself here. And the lighting here is off, right? So if you want this to look pro, I would spend money on a good camera. It doesn't have to be a $5,000 camera anymore. A real camera these days, and a digital SLR with an adjustable lens, probably 800 bucks, something like that. So not cheap, not nothing, but not the thousands that it used to be. And even those have automatic settings these days, and you can make your pictures look a lot more consistent. And that's me just being sort of artsy snob. More technically, from an e-business point of view, I think that what you're really missing here, the number one thing, is something you've got down here, but it's buried. Look at all this text. Wow. I saw it earlier, and now I can't even find it. There it is, over here. Sign up for our free newsletter. That's buried in all this text and is not graphically driven. That's the most important thing on the page. It should be right up here. If somebody's going to find your website and the billions that are out there, the newsletter sign up is the most important thing, because the email list is your #1 asset. If you're not going to build that email list, it's really going to be tough going for you, because people are going to drop by the site now and then leave, and you're going to have no way to contact them again. email list, email list, email list. So that's the number one thing. Next, you've got a lot of white space. You're wasting a bunch of this space up here above the fold. It's just empty. So I would at least try moving this up to the top. There's no reason for all that blank space. Next, there's a lot of words here. And I'm sure they're good words, but this is the typical reaction of a user. They're going to look at these things and maybe click on one, and then they're going to leave. You're making this too hard. You need to give some direction. Most people need guidance. If I present something to you like, I don't know, how about this? Here's a pen. Well, you can't see me. Hold on. Let's go back to me for a second. Okay. Stop. Let's see. There I am. Yeah, okay. So here's a pen. Now if I say, buy this pen, or here's a pen, you might say to me, okay, you don't know what to do, right? I need to tell you what to do. I say, I'd like you to borrow this pen and sign this contract. Okay, great. Or, here's a pen, I'd like you to buy it. It's 99 cents. Okay, I know what to do. I'm interested or I'm not interested. Or I could say, this is a famous historic pen that Thomas Jefferson used when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. It's $99,000. Okay, you're probably not going to buy it, but at least you know what to do. You have some context for what's going on. That's what's missing here, Art. You're missing the opportunity to inform your viewers and tell them what to do next. The site has a bunch of information on it, but it's more like a brochure than it is like an e-commerce site. So if you want to make some money here, you need some calls to action. That's what we call it in internet marketing speak. What should I do? Okay, home, tips, breathing, reviews, joint health, videos, Qigong musings, patience. Yeah, patience is operative here, I think. So give me some choices. Drive me down some specific paths. My guess is that's what you think you're doing with these 3 columns. But these are, well, there's 1, 2, 3, but then these 2 break, so that's 5 different directions. And then some videos here, that's 6, and reviews is 7. It looks like you're reiterating the menu you have here, but in text. You've got to pick. People give you maybe 10 seconds, maybe 20 if you're lucky. This is a niche area, and you're obviously an authority, so maybe they'll give you 30 seconds. But you need to give them some choices, drive them in certain directions. So if you've got 10 choices, you're going to split your traffic in 10 different directions. How about 3 choices? One of which should be email newsletter. Sign up for the email newsletter here. Second, what's most important to you next? Is it the tips? Is it the watch the videos? Is it the forms? I don't know what it is. You need to tell me. Now, all this other stuff is valid. I'm not saying get rid of it, but you need to reflect the hierarchy in your mind with the hierarchy that's on the page. Otherwise, people don't know what to do. They're just going to get lost. And that's what I think is going to happen on this site. Even though it looks very clean, you've done a very nice thing in the sense of leaving out all the ads and Facebook tools and widgets, and all you have is photos and text in a nice clean non-serifed font. So I buy the approach. There's just still too much. So you need to offer some direction, and I think that means probably some graphics, some calls to action, and some buttons, and most especially, for the last time I'll say it, the newsletter. This is your #1 thing here. I guess it's this newsletter plus. There it is, Tai Chi Tips newsletter for you. This little sign-up guy should be right on the home page, above the fold, and it doesn't need to be nearly this big, but that's the #1 thing you should be marketing. Okay? So I hope that's helpful to you, Art. That was a quick version of the ones that I do over at expertwebsitereviews.com, and the videos that are usually there are 15 or 20 minutes, search engine optimization and other things like that. All right, looks like Sheila's got a question. Hey, Sheila, good to see you. What's going on over there? Yeah, let me turn up the mic or your speaker. Go ahead.
I was just going to weigh in on the website. Did you want someone to do that?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
What do you think?
Can you put it back up?
You bet. Let's see, there it is. Google's going to bless us today and actually work. I just said that, now it's, there we go. There.
So the first thing that I noticed is the same thing that you did with the bunch of white space at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And he could use a hello bar up there.
That's a great suggestion.
As his email capture. I'm using that, and I really like it, and it's working really good for me. You can A/B test with it. And the menu format for the nav bar is really confusing, and it doesn't look like it's responsive because it's all out of alignment when I'm looking at it here small.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the menu needs to be a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in one or at the most two lines. It's just too much. Like you said, it's just so confusing as to where to go. And then the third thing that I noticed was when you did click on that newsletter um,
Over
place
here.
where you can capture the newsletter, and you
Mm-hmm.
scroll down, it's selling
Yeah.
snacks.
Right.
So if I
Surprise.
want to use affiliate links there, I would link to a product that has to do, specifically with Tai Chi.
Yes, I agree with that. And in fact, let me build on that. I wouldn't have anything else on this page. If you want people to sign up for the newsletter, leave it at that. And then, they might sign up for the newsletter. If you distract them with this nice picture of all these snacks, you're going to make me hungry. And I'm just as likely to go to the kitchen as I am to sign up for this thing, and order it. And either way, I'm probably skipping the email newsletter sign up. Great point, Sheila. Thank you.
Well, I agree with you on not having anything else on that page. It should just be clean with the newsletter if he's clicking through that way, but I like the hello bar a lot better.
That's a great tip. I hadn't thought. You've got me there. I hadn't thought about using the hello bar itself for a sign up for an email. That seems pretty obvious once you say it. Like most good ideas. Let's show people what that is. We'll do a little commercial here on this is clickmillionaires.com to illustrate what Sheila is saying. Let's see if that will work. You guys get that? Yeah. And it's up here at the top. No, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry. Hang on a second. Oh, too many windows open here. Bet that never happens to you guys, right? Where'd it go? This one. There. So see up at the top there, you see this little orange bar. That's called a hello bar, and that is a utility that you can get. There's a free version and a paid version, and it pops up after somebody visits your site. And you can see here I'm promoting the community cash revenue sharing program that we have at clickmillionaires.com, where our most active members actually get a share of the ad revenue. So it's a great way to get paid while learning. But Sheila's suggesting that you can, and she's right, you can use this to drive towards your email sign up as well. And that pops up automatically. You can change the colors, change the fonts. She said A/B testing, which means you can change the copy to see which version works best. Things like that. Great idea from Sheila. Nice critique, Sheila. Very nice. Thank you. That's some progress there from Sheila. Sheila was new to all this. Maybe what was it, Sheila? A year ago? It's probably been longer now. Yeah, she's nodding. Yeah, a year. Only a year? Wow.
No,
Right.
It's about a year and a half or so, I suppose.
Right, and here you are on global television critiquing other people's websites.
Yeah.
Congratulations. No, those are great
Nice
tips.
to see you, by the way.
I'm sorry?
Nice to see you, by the way. I like the new look there.
Yeah, we'll see. It's the fall look. We'll see how long that lasts. But thank you. So Byron's chiming in the chat room as well. He'd like us to take a look at spacecitynutrition.com. That sounds pretty cool. Let's do that in just a minute here, Byron. Thanks for the suggestion. Let me type that in, and let's see if we can. I noticed that's a .com. That's a good idea. Nutrition.com. Okay. And before I head over there, make sure that's going to resolve. Excellent. What else did I want to tell you about? Let's see. There's a couple things at clickmillionaires.com that were kind of interesting this week. I thought that people would want to know about if you hadn't been on the site recently. That includes there's this really cool new exercise device called the QB, which is actually an elliptical trainer, one of these things where you go like this, but it fits under your desk, so you can pedal while you're working. So this is a cool thing. It's not out yet. It just did a Kickstarter campaign, and they really exceeded their goals. So there seemed to be some demand for this. So that might be something interesting to you if you spend as much time at your desk as I do. And I wanted to point out a book by a friend of mine, Tim Leffel, has written a book called A Better Life for Half the Price. A Better Life for Half the Price. And the book is a chronicle of how he lives in Mexico with his family and essentially exports his income from the U.S. into Mexico, and they live a better life for half the price. You get the punchline there, I'm sure. But the book is actually a review of I think it's more than 20 different countries and the different ways to fit in those local economies so that you can live better for a lot more cheaply than you can in the United States. So if you're somebody who's thinking about what they're calling the digital nomad lifestyle, this is a really interesting book, and it's there's a review of that on the homepage at clickmillionaires.com. That's Tim Leffel's A Better Life for Half the Price. So I would check that out if I were you, and that sort of thing is interesting to you. All right, well, let's take a look over here. Byron has bravely put forth Space City Nutrition to see what we think about it. Let's see here if I can get the screen sharing to work again. Here we go. Sharing Space City Nutrition. Well, there we go. Excellent. All right. Now, this is a nice-looking site, Byron. Now, my first impression is clean and professional, healthy. You've got the colors. The stock photo is used correctly. And I think you've done a nice job here in general in terms of first impressions. Let's see, Byron, maybe you can tell us a little more in the chat room about what your business model is here, because I don't have time to really dive in as we often do. Just quickly, a couple words about what you're trying to do and how long this has been up and so forth. Some background for context, because I don't want to tell you to do a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense. But as a quick web design review, and maybe Sheila will have some thoughts as well, I guess I would start here up at the top. We've got this little email. I always want to see, this is it's a mail too. Okay. Well, that's okay. I think you can do better than that, my friend. I think the hello bar, thanks to Sheila, would be a great solution up there. I don't think anybody brand new to this site is going to want to mail you right away, unless I'm wrong. I think what's going on down here is much more your point. The sign up for the newsletter. This box is well done. It's taking up the kind of space that an email newsletter sign up deserves. I think you could use something a little more graphic here. You're so clean that you could use some punch. You've got a cute logo. Cute sounds, I'm not trying to minimize. I think it's a good logo. It's strong. I would make that bigger. It's very attractive. But I think this top bar isn't doing you very much. You've already said welcome down here. We know we're on the Space City Nutrition website. And thank you for visiting is always nice, but a little, they call that happy talk in the design business. That's just happy talk. It's not really doing anything except taking up space and distracting. So that would move your whole site up like that, which I think would be a good idea. Again, a lot of white space here, probably more than you need. But your newsletter sign up is good. What I'm missing here is, what do you do? You are a wellness, nutrition and wellness center. Oh, I see. Thank you for the chat room. We sell Herbalife products from a nutrition club. Okay. All right. That gives me some more context. So you're trying to get people to sign up for regular deliveries of these healthy meals, I guess. Okay. About us. All right. Well, we don't have enough time to really dive into this, but if you'd like to, Byron, we do website tune-up community clinics in the forum, and we can post this for you like officially and have members from all over the world chime in with suggestions. And man, everybody who's done that has always been pleased with the results. You get a lot of great ideas. Okay, so this is actually a center. You want people to come by. All right, so I guess I would. This is good. You're way ahead of the first generation. What I'd like to see is 2 tracks here. Well, 3. Again, this is the same advice I gave for art, but in a different context. What do you want people to do? You want them to come in for a healthy meal. Okay, come in implies a location. I'd like to see a picture of the location or some people. Like, you don't mean come in as in come into this website, right? You mean come into a physical location. Well, then give me a picture. Because online, people presume that this is online, right? If this is actual bricks and mortar, I think you need to, again, give some context like we did with the pen I was talking about earlier, and pictures are worth 1,000 words. So a quick picture of your office building or your lobby or whatever the most attractive part of your facility is would really be helpful for people. The other thing is, I gather, your other path is for them to order these meals, I'm guessing here, the Herbalife stuff. So that should be another path. You've got this set up pretty well already. You've got welcome 1, 2, 3 columns. I think that could, without redesigning the whole thing, I'd move the welcome up into this graphic just so people feel welcome. I understand you want to do that. And make the first one about buying the stuff, the second one about visiting us, and a third about the one that you already have, which is great, which is signing up for the newsletter. And bang, 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 you'd have a lot more functional site rather than kind of me wondering what it's about. Yeah, so here you are, you're in League City, Texas. Okay, so this kind of thing is good, but this is way down below the fold. If you want people to visit us, get all that up above the fold, and people could figure it out a lot quicker. So that would be my 5-minute review. Maybe Sheila, if you have any suggestions, maybe you could raise your hand. And I'm reading Byron says we make the smoothies there at our nutrition club. We also have a fitness group that meets 3 times a week. Click on coaches and you'll get the link to the products. Okay, well that's the problem, Byron. I don't want to click on the link to coaches because I didn't know they were there. If you've got products, put them out on the front page. There you are. Well, a handsome group you have there. Congratulations. So it's a nice looking bunch of people. This looks a lot more friendly and a lot more personal than you had over here. This isn't very nice, but it's kind of impersonal. It could be a doctor's office, it could be a chiropractor, it could be a massage clinic. You know, it's something healthy, obviously, but it's not clear what. If you are selling stuff, I'd put it right out there. If this is what you want people to figure out, then actually, you know, now I'm confused. You said this is the products. This looks like people. You're not selling people, I hope. I don't think so. I think you're selling the Herbalife from these distributors. Is that the right idea? Then that gets confusing quickly. Maybe you each need your own separate website. I'm not sure how you cross that. Let's see. Click on the Go Herbalife link. Okay. See, now if you have to walk me through this, then yeah, each of you has a separate distributor link. That's what I thought. Okay, and then we go over there. Okay, that's the problem with MLM, is that you end up trying to send everything back to the distributor's website or the parent company's website, and that's hard because it's enough to get people to buy stuff when they're on your own page, right? So before we spend too much time on this, I think you got the idea. You need to surface those products, get them up here on the front page. The newsletter is the right idea. Then I would get some buying up here as quickly as you can. Those 2 sets of clicks, every one of those clicks, you're going to lose, I mean, pick a number, 30%, 50%, 80% of the people with every additional click that you require. So if you had 100 people land here, and they have to look all around and figure out to go here, and then to go here, I bet you're down out of 100, you're probably down to, I don't know, 5 people maybe. And the fact that and out of every 5, that doesn't mean they're all going to buy either, right? So this is a nice site, but it's too hard to transact. So I would work towards raising up the transaction capabilities and making it clearer what you want people to do. So I hope that's helpful. Any other comments, Byron? Any feedback on that, or Sheila? If anybody wants to comment, I'm open to that. Happy to debate it or discuss it as much as you'd like. All right. I hope that's helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm welcome very much, Byron. And if you'd like to do more of that, come on over to the forum. Like I said, click millionaires.com and post about your site and give us the context, and we'll help you work it. We can, you can do this multiple times. We've got thousands of members there, and myself and my staff, and we'll help you work it through and make it a more productive website for you. Okay. So thank you. Yes, sir. Okay. Thanks for being here. All right. Let's see what else we got here. So speaking of productivity, there were a bunch of productivity tips that were pretty good in the forum recently. Some discussion of email autoresponders, ad blocking, and Easy Graphics Maker. That's right. I want to talk about that for a second. This is a super cool tool that I don't think I've showed folks lately. Let's see if we can get this one up. graphicsmaker.com. Now this is actually a service that I use myself. Let's do that. Share that. Okay, Easy Graphics Maker. This is a sales page. This is a sales page for this product here, easygraphicsmaker.com. This is the best, easiest graphics creator that I know of. This product is this is just a demo version, but this is a live tool. This is a demo. Watch, you can make your own headlines. Make your own headlines, and all of these graphics that you can see on the page. You can play with fonts. You can change the size. You can do little doodly things. All kinds of effects that you can make on every part of this, and different types of paragraphs. Your news here, and these, you can edit these, etc. Bullet points, these are all the kinds of things that a good sales page has. Buy this now, that kind of stuff. And you can change the bullets, change the kinds of bullets, change the colors, and headers, etc., all in real time. Testimonials, guarantees, etc. I use these myself, and even add to cart buttons. This is the kind of stuff actually Art and Byron and everybody watching this that I think everybody can use. It's a very handy system, and it's so handy that I bought it. Okay, I didn't just buy it for myself. I bought it and I use it, and it's for sale at easygraphicsmaker.com, and I think it's $69, $39. It's on sale now. It was expensive. How much is it now? Yeah, it was $139. Now it's only $39. Okay, so this is, I've lost track, but this is actually my product. Full disclosure, I'm recommending it to you. But you should buy it if you're doing sales pages, because you can create stuff that looks like this. Everything on this page is actually created, see a little testimonial with my picture there, with these tools. And they look great. I mean, they're not perfect, but if you're not going to spend a bunch of money on Photoshop or learn how to use Photoshop, or you're going to hire a designer and you want to be able to do this stuff, it's literally point and click. All right, Scott's new thingy is for sale. You know, it's literally that easy. Then you save these as JPEGs, and you can make them say whatever you want, change the fonts and the colors, and it's just like, it's magic if you're graphically challenged like I am. Well, honestly, I don't have the time, right? And working with designers is great, but it can end up being quite a lot of back and forth and be time consuming. So it's only $39, and that's what I want to tell you about, because we just posted about that again over at clickmillionaires.com, and people are enjoying it. So that's quite a bit of a commercial, but honestly, I don't recommend things unless I think that they're really helpful, and that is one that I honestly think is helpful. I use it myself. If you hunt around on the web and find my sales pages, you'll find pieces of those everywhere because they're just easy. Okay, so I think that's honestly a recommendation for you. easygraphicsmaker.com. All right, so let's go look at. Looks like today's the day for other people's websites. So does anybody else have a website they want us to talk about? Let me just check over here and see what else is. Let's see. I'm going to see if anybody else has checked in over on the event page. We've got. Let's see. Wow, looks like. Oh, Sergio says, "Hi, Scott and friends. I'm watching you from Argentina." Hola, Sergio. And well, Sheila, we know Sheila's here, but Byron and Dennis and Richard and Bienvenido and Alicia and Patrick from the Philippines is up early. Patrick, okay, I hope you're with us quite early there in the Philippines today. And Robbie and a bunch of you folks, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to do one more website here that somebody submitted on clickmillionaires.com, and I'll take some questions. And if there aren't any questions, then I'll wrap it up. Okay. So if you have questions, please do type them into the chat room at Google+. You just need to click on the blue button on the Click Millionaires Public Video Office Hours page. You can find that by going over to clickmillionaires.com and clicking through, and type into the questions, and I'll be happy to answer your question. All right, so let's talk about one more website before we wrap things up, unless you have questions, like I said. And that would be, for those of you who like pets, we're going to visit the website of Kimberly. And Kimberly does keepthetailwagging.com, keepthetailwagging.com, and that website looks like this. Kimberly's a longtime member of clickmillionaires.com as well, and let's see, hopefully everybody can see that. And let's see, that time I had to click on a button that says presenting to everyone, so hopefully everybody saw the previous two as well. Let's see, now this one is keepthetailwagging.com, and Kimberly is, her social media name is The Fur Mom, so you get the idea that Kimberly loves dogs, and she's all about dogs. Her specialty, at least as I know it from our discussions at clickmillionaires.com and the free forum there, is raw feeding, which is this topic here. But it looks like she's got a lot of other things going on, so let's see what we can do to help Kimberly increase her traffic and sales. All right, let's see. Now, first I would say a nice clean site. Again, a lot of white space. People are into that these days. You can see that the alignment is a little bit out of alignment here because this box is a little higher than the others. So I think that's simply, Kimberly, because I didn't have the screen wide enough. But you should be aware of that when people compress Look at that. When I went too narrow, that must be the responsive version. It actually forced everything into a vertical. That's very interesting. So this is a responsive theme. But you should be aware of, Kimberly, just when you're evaluating your traffic and so forth, that different people are seeing the site very differently. And for those of you who don't know what responsive means, I meant to say something about that actually, just quickly. Responsive is the buzzword that means your site works well on mobile devices. Responsive. It means that it's responding to the size and aspect ratio of the screen that your viewer is watching it on. So it's not, it sounds techie, but it just means that it's literally responding. So if your site is built in an older format, it's always the same size all the time. So if you look at it on a mobile device when the screen's only this big, then the whole site will be shrunk to be that small and will be essentially unreadable for a lot of people. A responsive design is one that adapts and says, oh, it recognizes the browser. Oh, this person is visiting from this kind of browser. They're probably on a Samsung Galaxy, or they're on an iPhone 6, or whatever it is, and it will adjust appropriately. That kind of programming often costs a little more to make the template or the theme of your website responsive, but it's a good idea if you have folks who are visiting on mobile devices. And these days, who doesn't? Mobile is here and happening, and very much a good idea if you can be responsive as well. So I think that's what Kimberly's done here, is made a responsive theme. So my feedback would be, let's see, well, I like the clean nature of the site. I think this font, Kimberly, is frankly unreadable. It's very flowing and friendly and gentle and natural, but I find it pretty hard to read, so I don't think that's very good for branding. So I would think about using a font that was a bit more standardized, so that up here people can have a better chance of reading the site and remembering it. That's what it's really about, recall. I think you could also use some sort of graphic. The green and the blue and the gray is a nice color scheme. I think that's fine, but if you had a little character of a dog or dogs or something, I think that's a lot more memorable, especially when you use a font that is this curvy, I guess is the word, and light. It's also a very thin font. Okay, next. Where's the newsletter? Okay, I think everybody's going to sense a theme in my discussions today. Where's the email newsletter? Okay, it's down there. It's got a big, important amount of space allowed, but it's way down below the fold. And I think you could leave this here if you wanted to, Kimberly, but it's really pretty hidden. And your call to action is this green on green down here, which I can barely read. Visibility like that is especially a problem for older viewers. They don't see contrast as well, so that would be essentially invisible to a lot of folks. I don't know what age that kicks in, but you know, if you're targeting people over 60 or something, or 70 certainly, you'd want to reconsider that from a usability point of view. They literally may not be able to see this button. More important, I think, is I would take a piece of this and move it up above the fold. I would get rid of last name. You probably don't need the last name. That's more than you need. And I would make the email thing either right up here in the upper right, where people will see it the most, or maybe as one of your top several paths here with these big graphics. Next, again, I got to recommend the hierarchy. I guess I need to do a blog post or maybe write a book about usability in this sense. You've got so many choices here, like I was saying for art earlier. If you've got 10 choices, people are going to go 10 different directions. And here you've got 4 and 4 is 8, and 12. There's at least 12 choices here. You're going to fragment your traffic in 12 different directions. And that may be fine, because you're really not trying to make any money here. This is a hobby. But I know from your posts in the forum that you are trying to make some money. So I would pick, what are you trying to sell? Do you want to? Well, first of all, you want to sell them on signing up for your newsletter. So when you do move this up, I would add an incentive of some kind. Give them an ebook, give them a coupon, at least put a graphic here that makes this attractive and makes people want to click on it. Next, I would pick which of these is most important. Are you really trying to push this book, a great resource on the raw diet? It doesn't look like it. That goes over to Amazon. And that's fine if you want to send people to Amazon. But on Amazon, you're going to make a small percentage of this $8.37. That's a very inexpensive item to start, and your percentage is going to be tiny. So you're going to make very little compared to, I think, what you've got in these. And so I would demote this, unless perhaps this is the book of your sister or your brother-in-law or something, and you're really trying to promote it as a favor. Anything above the fold here should be choices that are going to make you real money. Even if it's still an Amazon item, I'd try to find an Amazon item that costs more than $8, right? Recommend something like this. I'm guessing this pet insurance is going to be more than $8. Let's see here. All right, well, that's taking too long. We don't need to hold everybody up. But you want to put things that make you the most money. If you're indifferent to what's most important to you, at least put the ones that make the most money up at the top. That's my point. Now, your blog is over here, and the blog is great, but if you want people to come back, then I would put the blog on the homepage. Put some of these posts up. I looked at the site earlier, and it was you had a bunch of nice posts. A pretty slow connection today. There we go. So these are good. You've got nice graphics, cute dogs. This looks a lot more like a homepage to me if you're blogging, if you want to be known as a blogger. I think the same points apply. The graphic at the top could be more interesting. You should get the newsletter up here. Connect is fine, but then you put your top couple items right here in this sidebar. So perhaps this eco-friendly bag is a good deal for you. This national raw food. If these are your big items, then this is the same stuff that should be over here. But my suspicion is that you've gone wide rather than deep, or maybe you've done both, because you've got each of these here, and I don't see any calls to action. What you need is some of, let's see, where do we go? Look, this. See, this kind of call to action thing? Sign me up. Buy, add to cart, that kind of thing. And by doing that, you will also tell the audience what you think is most important and where you can help them the most. And that kind of reorganization of the site, I think, would be really good for you. So that's probably enough for now. I thought it was interesting that you had a really big footer here, one of the taller footers that I'd seen. I think I like this guest posting policy. I don't know if it needs all this space or whether you need all this copyright information. But this policy I thought was interesting about what you accept and what you don't accept. It makes it sound like you really are dedicated to the dogs, which I thought was good. Your disclosures here are good also. This is a little repetitive, obviously, from all the buttons you have up above. And this disclaimer also good. But this just takes a lot of space, and I think the whole thing needs to be reoriented around what's going to make Kimberly the most money today. That's really the idea, I think. What's going to make money, the most money for Kimberly the soonest with the least amount of effort. That's the Click Millionaires motto. The most money, the soonest, with the least work. Okay? That's what I would be thinking about if I were you. And just pass through the site again. It's credible, it looks nice, it looks professional. If I was into the dog thing as much as you are, I think it's a good site. I would probably click around a little, but if you wanted to make you some real money, I think some reprioritization would be really helpful for you. All right, so that's what I've got for there. Anybody else have any comments on keepthetailwagging.com? That's the website, keepthetailwagging.com, the website of our friend Kimberly, who is a very active member over at clickmillionaires.com. So I hope that's helpful to you, Kimberly, and helpful to anybody else who's watching this video later. Those tips apply to almost any website, really. We've done 3 websites today. If you like this idea of looking at people's websites, well, please do submit your website over at clickmillionaires.com, or next time you see me pop up in your Google Plus invites for a Hangout on Air, you're welcome to join us. This kind of thing is easy for me to do, and I hope that it's helpful to you. If you'd like a more advanced and in-depth critique of your site with suggestions for design or redesign, then I have 2 options for you. The first is to come to clickmillionaires.com and submit your name. There's a page on clickmillionaires.com. Since we're doing this clever screen sharing thing today, maybe we can even, let's see, maybe I can even show you where it is. Let's see here. I'll show you exactly how to do this, because clickmillionaires.com is not a perfect site either, I have to admit. And we can show you where, here's where it is. See how to build a website? Right here, free website clinics. And if you go in there, free website clinics, you can submit your name to be included in a website tune-up community clinic like I was just discussing. We have many examples of these, and if you look around on YouTube, I've done dozens, maybe hundreds of videos for these folks. Now the videos are for those folks who are actually members of our Masterminds forum, and the Masterminds forum is available for $39 a month, as I mentioned earlier. Or if you want a video just privately for yourself, or sooner, you can go to expertwebsitereviews.com. Expertwebsitereviews.com is where I do these as a small business. Okay, so that's it for today, I think, unless anybody has any last comments. Great to see you, Sheila and Byron, and all these other folks in the chat room who are just lurking. Sergio especially from Argentina, and those of you from around the other side of the world who are very early in the morning, like Patrick and some of our friends from Australia checking in. And happy to have you all here. And if you'd like advice like this anytime, come to clickmillionaires.com. I'd be happy to help you. The forum there is full of friendly people. It's one of the friendliest, I think it's the friendliest forum on the internet. I've never heard a crossword, or we have no trolls whatsoever. And you can even make some money. Did I mention that? There's a revenue sharing program. I think clickmillionaires.com has the only member revenue sharing program, as far as I know, on the whole internet. We actually share half of our ad revenues go back to our members. The most active members each month get to participate in our community cash program. So I paid out hundreds of dollars. This is money that I pay personally, right? I give the profits from this site and my books to charity. I give half the ad revenues back to the audience. We need the other half to pay for our moderators and our hosting. This is essentially a nonprofit information resource for you and people like you. So if you need some help, please come let us know, and we'll do our best to help you get your share of the internet revolution too. So thanks for watching today. I appreciate your time, and I hope this is helpful to you. Please tell your friends. Come on next time, and come join clickmillionaires.com if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott Fox. This has been Click Millionaires video office hours and podcast office hours for internet lifestyle business entrepreneurs just like you. Thank you. See you soon, I hope.